David Letterman Show Live with Valerie Bromfield, Edie McClure, Edwin Newman with the NBC News Update, and Frank Owens and the David Letterman Symphony Orchestra. Plus David's guests, John Sebastian, Boomer and trainer Ray Berwick, baseball semi-immortal Bob Uecker, sports scientist Gideon Ariel, world paddleball champion Hillary Hilton, and mountain climber Vera Komarkova. And now, a man whose only evidence of a personality is a confused facial expression, David Letterman.
We're talking with Hillary Hilton. I stayed there once. We're talking, never mind. And now we're going to meet Dr. Gideon Ariel, who is a sports scientist. He has developed a computerized method to help athletes increase their skills. Here he is now, Dr. Gideon Ariel.
Nice to see you, sir.
You developed a scientific method that can help athletes improve their basic movements. Is that correct? How does that work?
Well, anything that moves on Earth, whether it's an athlete or any object, behave according to the same principles. Gravity is gravity. So what we are doing, we're using aerospace technology, which developed in this country, in order to help athletes to improve their performance, with Olympic athletes and general public.
Who are some of the athletes that we might recognize that you've worked with?
We work with Mac Wilkins, which won the Olympic Games in 1976, and very recently
what was his event?
Discus throw.
Yeah.
Also, we work with Al Orter, which, by the way, is 43 years old and is second in the world now, after he quit for 12 years the world.
This was also discus?
He is also in the discus.
Yeah.
Also, we're working with the women volleyball team to improve their takeoff and reaction to the volleyball, and they are also the best in the world now.
Do you do any work with more popular sports as far as the American public is concerned, like football or tennis? Or?
Yes. In fact, in our Carter Sport Research Center in California, we have a whole center to analyze tennis with Vic Braden Tennis College. And we try to find out what actually make a tennis game, how tennis game compare with a racquetball game, and so forth.
Mm-hmm. And that's all done, it's broken down into computers, and then I guess we're going to see an example.
Well, the computer is only a machine. They say garbage in, garbage out, of course.
Garbage in, garbage out, yes.
However, utilizing the computer, you can calculate the velocity of the wrist, the velocity of the arm. Even we found very interesting things different between you and Hillary in their game of
Well, I would hope so. Are we in danger of over-analyzing just recreational sport, do you think?
I don't think so. What we're getting rid of is witchcraft, because today if you look at an athlete and you guess what he's doing right or what he's doing well, you basically just guessing. I mean, how do you know? When an engineer builds a bridge, he cannot just sit by the river and say, okay, build it this way or this way. You will have lots of cars in the Hudson River. They have to
plenty of cars there anyway.
Mechanics.
Okay, we're going to take a look at, I'm uncertain as to what we're going to view first, but it's videotape that, or film, I guess, that you made, and of Hillary and myself. And if you're watching here in the studio, take a look at the monitors. If you're at home, I guess you're on TV.
Well, here you are playing, and we're taking a high-speed film. We're using up to 200 frames per second, and then we will trace this movement into the computer. In fact, here you see yourself on the digitizer. From here...
I'm on the where there?
On a digitizer.
On the digitizer.
And by tracing it, we can, using a computer, a very sophisticated computer made by Data General, which can calculate the position in 3 dimensions. So even though you remember we didn't take your picture from the top, we can see you at the top view, at the side view,
now,
and also at the front.
How is that possible?
Well, this technology, which is actually adaptation from aerospace technology, you see yourself in 3 planes here moving. We can calculate the coordinates and transform them in 3-dimensional. So, for example, the difference that we found between you and Hillary, that even though you were faster as far as the reflex...
Thank you very much.
She was faster as far as the motor programming. She was prepared for you a little bit sooner. And that's why we think the battle of the sexes can be won by women.
Now, go back to that again. Generally, male reflexes are quicker.
The male reflexes are quicker. However, the better player is the one that can anticipate the shot a little bit sooner, where you will have to wait the situation and then start moving, even though your reflexes are faster. Hillary, since she is a better experienced in this particular game, she started the movement much ahead of the game.
So that's interesting. So what you're saying there then is the smarter athlete, or the athlete who knows more how to play the intricacies of the game, will defeat a better natural athlete.
correct because the time that it takes to make the cure, the decision where to go, it takes more time than the reflex itself, which is in the milliseconds or in the thousandths of a second.
Yeah.
So here we try all to simulate to make you more efficient on your pattern.
That's interesting. What were we looking at? What do we call that?
We're looking on a special three-dimensional program where we can change the coordinate, calculate your velocities, acceleration. It's only recently by computer technology that it's possible.
Now, if I were a serious athlete, or if Hillary wanted to take advantage of this information, what would you do? You'd show her this information, and then what would you do?
Let's say that we have the battle of the sexes. You're a challenger for a game. We will shoot you pictures taking at high speed, and we'll try to learn your game even without your knowledge in a tournament, for example. And then we will program a machine that's throwing the ball. So every ball come out of the machine is identical to the ball that you use in your game, and let her practice against it, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And then she will anticipate at the real time what's happening.
How long would that process take, do you think?
It takes 2-3 days, but for her to try to learn, it will take some time of practice. With Olympic athletes, sometime we're working 2 months, 3 months, sometime a whole year.
You mentioned the Olympics. Let me ask you quickly about, we're making advances here in electronics to improve sports. Other countries are improving sports with chemicals, right?
Yes, in fact, we think that this is the greatest thing that we have here, because according to our experience, we're developing new exercise equipment also controlled by a computer, and we're finding out that program the exercise will achieve more results than taking hormones or ergogenic aids.
What kind of certain countries competing in the Olympics now are using drugs? What would those be?
It's a pharmaceutical Olympics. They said that if you don't take the anabolic steroids, you cannot make the finals.
The steroids...
in fact, the athletes approach me all the time. I'm on the sport medicine committee, and they say, well, we'll see this time who is better, his drugs or my drugs.
Okay,
this is really true, then. It is a drug Olympics.
Fascinating area, but we have to leave because of station identification. Hillary Hilton and Gideon Ariel.